Good morning, John.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, it's good to be with you today and talk a little bit about the program that we've been working on.
You know, Steve, a lot of people over the past 6 or 7 months or so have been bringing this concept to the table with us, or this problem to the table with us, called car reluctance. And it's very prevalent in the real estate industry today, so I want to talk about more of the reasons for that and what we can do to help people out.
It's interesting, when we talk to realtors around the country, the concept of call reluctance comes up all the time. And the challenge has always been what causes it and how to overcome it.
Well, you're right, Steve. You know, if you take a look at markets, markets reveal everything. 2 or 3 years ago, when the markets were very strong and, you know, buyers and sellers were getting together very quickly, and even, you know, sellers were getting more than the asking price, sometimes within a couple hours or minutes of listing their property, car reluctance wasn't so noticeable because people were in this frame of reference where the business was coming to them and coming very quickly and automatically. But now, when the markets have shifted a little bit, it reveals what our true strengths are and what our weaknesses are, or our opportunities for development. And one of those areas is car reluctance. Car reluctance was masked 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. Now, if you're a real estate professional and you want to do well in this business, you have to be doing prospecting and lead generation every day. But most professionals do have some sort of reluctance as it relates to lead generation and prospecting.
Why do you think that is? I mean, what's the crux of why professionals are so challenged with the various concepts and the idea of prospecting, call, lead generation?
Well, Steve, we all have some sort of car reluctance, no matter how much experience we have, no matter how long we've been in the real estate business. But the primary reason, believe it or not, for car reluctance is fear of rejection. If you take a look at all the studies that have been done about car reluctance, read the reports, read the analyses, that's what it comes up to. Now, there are 12 different types of car reluctance, and we've designed an assessment tool that people can go to and take a test. And that test will reveal to them what type of car reluctance they have individually. But there are 12 different types, and there are a bunch of different reasons why we may have those types. We can give a couple of examples in a moment. But the bottom line is most people have the fear of rejection. If they're going to call somebody, they don't want to hear the word no. If they knock on somebody's door, they don't want the person to physically reject them by closing the door. If they're speaking in front of an audience, they don't want to hear questions that may reveal their lack of knowledge on a certain subject in that moment of time. So there's all kinds of reasons around that fear of rejection, but that's the primary reason.
Can I take you back for a minute about the self-assessment, because I think that's a fascinating vehicle for an agent to better understand why they're so challenged. What is the basic concept of the self-assessment, and why is the idea of them being so candid so critical?
Well, we have to be honest with ourselves and about ourselves, Steve, if we want to progress in life. It does take courage to progress. It takes courage to change. And I think everybody knows, whether it's prospecting and lead generation, or whether it's some other aspect of their business that requires improvement. Deep down inside, I think we all know that improvement's required. We're just not all willing to face it in any moment in time. That's the reason why we designed the assessment tool. Because people can go and answer literally some very simple questions. It takes about 8 or 10 minutes to answer the questions, and then instantly a report pops up and tells them exactly the reason or reasons why they may be hesitating to make prospecting calls and lead generation calls. From there, then we've designed some behavior modification CDs. People literally will listen to these CDs for 30 consecutive days, and after listening to those CDs, they will either be able to manage or completely overcome their car reluctance.